Well, hello again. I was looking at this fella here, the Black Vault guy, with regard this Mosul Orb. Now, this is supposedly a UFO that was photographed from an aircraft in Iraq, Mosul, Iraq, and there's it's got a little bit of traction on social media. Now, a couple of things that spring to mind almost immediately is that I'm sorry, I can't remember his name, but he does excellent work, sterling work, this chap. Was that this was presented by Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp. Now, personal opinion, I don't think those guys have any credibility at all. George Knapp has been pushing the Bob Lazar nonsense for a very long time, and Jeremy Corbell says he loves this UFO stuff because he can get out of bed when he likes in the morning now. He doesn't need a job. Now, I should have made a note of this fella's name. But he was saying that this supposedly is a still from a 4-second video clip. Now, he doesn't ask, which is quite surprising actually, because he does so much research into this subject. He doesn't ask why we don't see the 4-second video clip. And that's the first question I would be asking. And I strongly suspect the reason that we don't see the 4-second video clip is that it becomes very obvious very quickly that that is not an orb. If you actually look at the picture, sorry, I'm holding the camera, I'm pointing at the big screen here. See this here? This dark area here? It seems to extend down to there, doesn't it? Yeah? I reckon that is either water. This could be water coming out of the ground from a burst water main and then just running down here. Actually, I might have a look at Google Earth and see if this is actually downhill, this section here. But if you actually look at it, it's not an orb. If you look at this shape, it's not an orb. See, the black comes up into it there? I think this is sunlight reflecting off of water. I think this is water coming out of the ground here and flowing down here. You see that dark patch is much bigger than the little piece there, that's the little bit there that's shining, and I think that's because that's what that is. I don't think that's a flying object at all. I can get it to focus. If you look at it like that, it becomes a little more obvious that this is a dark patch of something on the ground running away that way, and this is just sunlight. This is just sunlight reflecting off the surface. It might even be water coming out of the ground as the plane's flying by. It's just at the right angle to make it look unusual. But from that you can see it's not an orb, can't you? You can see it's not an orb. You can see the shape of the dark area on the ground around it. This is sunlight reflecting off of whatever this is. I would say. So I would personally, put a line through the Mosul Orb. Pretty typical of this stuff that's peddled by these UFO piffle peddlers. It's because the recently released report about the UAPs, everyone's been waiting with bated breath for this updated report, and it says basically nothing. as I said it would last year. You know, you got people like Gary Nolan saying last year, well, I know what's coming. We're going to get some interesting stuff before the end of the year, being 2022, of course. And I said at the time, I can tell you with some confidence exactly what's coming. Nothing is coming. There will be no disclosure, because there's nothing to disclose. All of this stuff is embellished nonsense. And we still haven't heard Gary Nolan tell us that the sphere is examined is a ball check valve, which is what I'm fully expecting to hear. And it'll certainly be made of normal terrestrial material. It weighs exactly 50 pounds, says Ross Courtard. And I thought, does he really think aliens are going to be going around the galaxy engineering artifacts using terrestrial imperial weights and measures? Really? He also said it's impossibly heavy. Oh, weighs 50 pounds. And I thought, well, impossibly heavy would be 50 tons. You know, there's just so much nonsense in this UFO business, and that's what it is. So there's the Mosul Orb. And when you look at it a little bit more closely, you see that it's not an orb at all. It's just light. It's just light reflecting. Light reflecting off of something there. Light reflecting off of something on the ground. Maybe even a burst water main, because we can see this. This is a dark area here. This dark area extends up to here. So it's a dark patch of something that is extending up to here. Sunlight's just reflecting off it at the right angle as the aircraft or the helicopter, whatever it is, goes past. And the reason we don't see the 4-second clip is because that would reveal that that was obviously the case. Alright, well, if I don't go to Google Earth and see if this is actually going downhill, I'll say thanks for watching, and I'll catch you again.